situation. One of our contractors...
After security breach nearly killed this franchise, Steel Wool had one job. Don't mess it up. And honestly, they mostly didn't. FNAF? Secret of the Mimic is the best mainline Five Nights game in years. A tighter, darker, more focused experience than anything the series has delivered since its golden era. But it's also a game with some real problems that nobody's talking about, honestly. This is Adoogez, and we're going all the way
while attempting to retrieve it, including but not limited to death or dismemberment. We fully expect the retrieval process to go smoothly and without incident.
You're on a Fazbear Entertainment technician sent to Murray's costume Manor, a massive, long-abandoned costume factory. Your job. Retrieve an important prototype called the Mimic, an experimental endoskeleton created by the reclusive inventor Edwin Murray. The facility is supposed to be empty. It's not. The Mimic is still there, waiting, watching, and it can wear the face of anything it's ever seen. This is an origin story for one of FNAF's most iconic villains, and the lore runs deep. The classic point-and-click desk gameplay is completely gone. Secret of the Mimic is a first-person stealth survival game. You explore Murray's costume Manor, sneak past animatronics, solve environmental puzzles, and use a handheld device called the Data Diver to unlock security clearances. Each new clearance opens up deeper sections of the Manor, pushing you closer to Edwin Murray's private workshop. The loop is tense, methodical, and far better designed than Security Breach ever managed. There's no combat here. No flashlight to stun animatronics, no gadget to fight back. You are defenseless, and the game makes sure you feel it. Sneaking through corridors, listening for footsteps, timing your movements between the Mimic's patrol patterns. It creates a low-frequency dread that lingers between scares, not just during them. The costume Manor's layout is genuinely excellent, with multiple paths and approaches that reward careful, patient players. Your main tool is the Data Diver, a handheld device used to interact with terminals, unlock doors, and hack your way through security clearance levels. Upgrading your clearance is the central progression hook, and it works. The game layers access intelligently, meaning the Manor constantly expands in ways that feel earned rather than arbitrary. Finding audio logs, security reports, and holographic messages along the way gives you real reasons to explore every corner thoroughly. Here's something that genuinely surprised me. Secret of the Mimic has multiple endings, and they depend on how thoroughly you explore it, how efficiently you manage resources, and the choices you make during critical encounters. Completing all objectives unlocks secret animatronics, alternative scenarios, and new difficulty modifiers for a FNAF game. The replay value here is legitimately strong, and the secret ending, play through it twice. You'll understand why when you get there. Here's the honest part. For a horror game, Secret of the Mimic isn't actually that scary. The atmosphere is excellent and the dread is real. But actual jump scares and genuinely terrifying moments are surprisingly rare outside of Mimic encounters. The other animatronics feel more like obstacles than genuine threats, and several of them are executed so sloppily that they tip from tense into frustrating without delivering the payoff the build-up deserved. The HUD and map design is a real problem. There are multiple points where the game's objective communication completely breaks down, leaving you wandering corridors with no sense of what you're supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to be going. In a stealth game where every unnecessary movement puts you at risk, bad objective clarity doesn't just feel annoying. It actively undermines the tension the game has worked so hard to build. For longtime fans, the lore here is going to be divisive. Secret of the Mimic rewrites key parts of Voff Hishti, including details around William Afton and the origins of Fazbear Entertainment in ways that contradict established canon. The dialogue is also completely which means on your second playthrough hunting alternate endings, you're sitting through every line again in 2025. That's just not acceptable design. Secret of the Mimic sits at 86%, very positive on Steam with over 6,000 user reviews. And that score reflects exactly what this game is. It's not perfect, but it's a genuine step forward for a franchise that desperately needed one. The Mimic itself is one of the most compelling antagonists Steel Wool has ever designed. And the costume Manor is the best environment in any free roam FNAF game. If you're a fan of the series, this is an absolute buy at full price. New players. It's a solid entry point to Adoogez. Final rating 7.5 out of 10. Atmospheric, smartly designed, and anchored by one of the most genuinely clever horror antagonists in recent memory. Held back by weak objective clarity, unskippable dialogue, and a horror deficit that keeps it from reaching its full potential. But Steel Wool is clearly learning, and that makes the next one genuinely exciting to think about. Here's the question I need answered in the comments. Did the Mimic actually scare you? Or did it just stress you out? Because there's a difference, and I want to know which camp you landed in. Drop it below. I read every single one. And if you want this level of honest game coverage every week, hit subscribe and join the Adoogez community. We'll see you in the next one.
Surprise!